Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ellie and today I'm going to talk about fear. What a fun topic, right? I think fear is one of the things that has been driving my life for as long as I can remember. I've always been quite an anxious person, as most of you know, but I think recently, because of lockdown, I realized loads of things about myself that I would have not been able to understand without this situation. What lockdown has done is that it has forced me to look at myself from a perspective of just myself, not having any responsibility for any of the people around me or having to do things because I had to. And this is gonna sound extremely basic in terms of like, who doesn't like the idea of just not going to work and being at home? Well, someone who wants to make money first. But aside from that, it's just that it allowed me to see things from a different perspective. It allowed me to judge myself in a different way and realize what are the things that I'm doing to myself that are unhealthy. I live very often in a state of fear. Fear of disappointing other people, fear of not doing enough of a good job, fear of not being good enough, as most people know, fear of not progressing, fear of upsetting people all the time. It's a big thing of mine, just being scared that I've somehow offended someone and then I ask and it's even more awkward, and that's kind of like where I get. When it comes to fear, it's like it's running through my body and it's so scary and so anxiety inducing that most of the time I just feel like I can't fight it at all. During lockdown, I've learned that a lot of my anxiety is due to the expectations that I have on myself, but not as much as the expectation that I think other people have of me, or the expectation that I think other people have of me and how I'm not meeting them. I fear being a disappointment in any way. I fear not being something valuable or someone valuable to have in your group of friends, in your group of co-workers. It's like this constant sense of validation is needed to feel like you're valuable. And it's something that I never realized before until the only thing I had to look at was myself in my house, working out, going for a walk whenever I can, and just being here with my sisters. It's a very eye-opening experience to realize that for all this time I have been looking at myself through the evil eye of a friend that I don't have. Because I don't actually think any of my friends would think that of me, and if they do, what kind of friends are they, you know? I know this sounds like the kind of thing that most people have always told you, like if they behave like this, if they do that, if they don't like this, if they're whatever, they're not your friends. But hearing it from someone and being like, yeah, they're not your friends because they're missing out on your great personality traits, or like they're the one that are like wrong or whatever. But it's very different when it has to do with you and your fear of losing people, and you know, this need, this hunger for being liked by other people, which is not something that, you know, anyone's proud of, but it's something that most people do suffer from. It's why would you not be liked? You know, it's always better to be liked by most people than not. But this made me realize that I literally looked at myself through the eyes of a really evil friend, like as if my friends were evil and angry at me and judgmental, and you know, I have been my evil friend. And I think this lockdown has sometimes, in a way, I'm so scared of so many things. I'm scared of like posting on Instagram stuff that doesn't have to do with my job because I'm afraid that my colleagues think that I'm like vain. I'm afraid of posting selfies on my Instagram because I think people are gonna think I'm vain. Afraid of tweeting things people are not gonna think I'm funny. So much. And so much of this has to do with people's perception of me, which comes down to social medias a lot. And I realized that while everyone was just like doing whatever, because it's lockdown, you don't have anything else to do, you're just sort of like posting whatever, doing whatever. And I slowly started to stop being scared of it, or at least try and stop being scared of it. It kind of helped with my whole mentality of everything I do is wrong, and therefore being scared of anything I do, and thinking that anything I do could result in a dystopian disaster, because I guess we're already in a dystopian disaster. But what I was trying to say is that I started to look at myself more from my own perspective and the perspective of a normal person, instead of trying to think of the way people think. Because I think all the time that I know what people are thinking. I think all the time that I know, that I'm so sure that I can perceive it, that I know, that I can feel it, that there's this and that, and I find so many excuses to make myself miserable. On lockdown, I've been able to be by myself, and I don't owe anything to anyone because I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to be forced into an unhealthy way of doing things, not because I want to or because they're fun for me, because I feel like I have to, otherwise I'm a social disaster or whatever, you know, or I'm not gonna be employed anymore. And this has helped me loads figuring out that there are things that I like. For example, you remember when in a few videos ago, well, quite a few videos ago, I kept saying that I didn't know exactly what I liked anymore because I stopped doing it. I just did everything that I thought I was supposed to do to fit in society and to do things, and to everything was like what I should have been doing instead of what I wanted to do. Obviously, like, I'm saying everything, I'm using this euphemism, obviously I'm exaggerating in that sense, but like, it's been such a big thing in my life, being anxious about this kind of stuff. And because I've realized this, and I've been able to focus on myself, look into myself, doing things that make me feel good, realizing what I like and what I try and do, and having less stress on my life, I'm a bit scared on when everything's gonna go back to normal and I'm gonna have to deal with everything again. And I'm trying so hard to remember and write down all the good things I'm learning during this break time that I'm forced to have, because wow, we're having a break. And I just want to make sure that I don't stop this. I don't fall back into my old habits, which maybe a bit I will, but I want to be happy. I don't care like about anything else, but I want to be happy. I want to stop living in fear, stop living in this constant sense of suffocation, of anything I do could be the potential for a disaster. That's not a good way of living, you know. Like, at the end of the day, I don't even know how I come across online. How do I come across online? I think every time I come across like an arrogant prick and vain and whatever, and I don't think that's who I am, but maybe people think that of me, and I'm like, you know what, so many people I know don't care about this shit. Why do I care? And I'm trying really hard to step away from it and, you know, do different steps in my brain for like how I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember how I feel now and how everything is nicer because I don't feel the stress of having to adapt to certain situations to progress my life in the right direction. I just want to be happy, progressing my life in the direction I feel like I like doing, without having to question everything I do and living in fear of doing the wrong choice, making the wrong choice. I wanted to share this with you because I think a lot of people go through the same kind of like thought process, and it might be interesting to hear it from someone else, so just hear it laid out very confusedly by me. But I'd love to know what you thought about this, and if you've ever felt this way, what has lockdown done to you. I think my main worry around lockdown has always been like my job and money and not, you know, like being able to survive, and obviously like a healthcare system and all that sort of thing. But in terms of my personal life, I think it forced me to stop, slow down, and look at things in a different way, and just seeing how it is when I'm not doing what I've always been doing, and I didn't know how to stop. So in a way, I guess it's been a positive thing. I'm trying to find the positive in it, you know. But yes, I'd love to know what you thought of it and how you live in lockdown and what is taught you and how are you doing in any country you might be. This was the video for today. I'm hoping to do a bit more chatty videos like this, so if you like it, maybe give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and you know, I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.